Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome back to Hearts 4, Kaiserreich. It's been a little bit since we hopped into Kaiserreich. I'm actually blanking a little bit on the last time that was. I'm gonna pull up my YouTube real quick just to go back. I have to go back a fair bit to last time I played Kaiserreich. It was Egypt. That was it, Egypt. We hopped in as the Sultan of Egypt. We ended up going with the Pharaohist, I believe it was. We kicked the Turks out of the Middle East and established a nice little Cairo pact. And we beat back the Sunnis and set ourselves up a pretty nice position for modernization. But that was then, now is now. We've had a few updates drop since. The newest update is Year of the Rabbit, which adds some stuff to China. And I do want to play around in China a little bit more, because I don't even think I technically played in China the time the China rework came out. I just played in Mongolia. But I'm not sure which path I want to play in China, so if you guys have any ideas or feedback on that, please tell me in the comment section below. I'm open to ideas. There was also an update beforehand, which added content to Poland. So I want to go ahead and check that out. I believe... yeah, Shanji was the only one that got a major rework, if I'm not mistaken, but... at least in the new update, but... I think all the Chinese areas got updates. And I know Poland got a little extra content for us to look at. So, I'm going to go ahead and check that out. Because it's been a while. I was wanting to hop into Kaiserreich. So we'll go ahead, start her up. We can go ahead and get that loaded. And it's always a pleasure to be back into Kaiserreich. I enjoy it pretty dang well. And any second now. You can do it, game. I believe in you. I believe in you. Wait. Oh. Bar's moving a little bit. There we go. There we go. You got this. You can do it. You can do it. I believe. There we are. Here's 0.24.1. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Thank you, gang. So, let's take a look at our starting situation. We are led by August the 4th, the effeminate king. The king is known for his flamboyant jewelry and for keeping the company of artists rather than officers. It does not make him hugely popular for Poles, but makes him even less popular with his father, the Kaiser. Ouch. And then we have the Geheimrat. The king prefers to delegate many matters of state to his royal advisors in the Privy Council. They are often picked to act as experts of his subjects, and the king has not much interest in such as military matters. So get a little extra political power out of that, so that's actually not too bad. So here's our lead description. Born in 87 in Potsdam in the German Empire. Born August Wilhelm Heinrich Gunther Victor of Prussia, August IV of the House of Hohenzollern, was crowned king of Poland in the silver regalia of August III in 1921. As a prince in Germany, he was criticized by his father, Kaiser Wilhelm II, for his love of jewelry and for keeping the company of artists in his Potsdam villa. As king of Poland, for the last 15 years, he has attempted to rule well, despite his reign being dogged by allegations of his own effeminate personal mannerisms, as well as by a strained relationship with his wife, neither of which serve him well in a deeply conservative Catholic country. On a political level, he has been compelled to hand more power to the Sejm, becoming a genuine constitutional monarch whose functions are largely ceremonial and whose prerogative powers are largely unwielded by his prime minister. King August's unfortunate fate is seemingly to be disliked by all sides. To the nationalists, he's a symbol of intolerable German domination. To the pragmatists, he's a necessary evil. And to the Kaiser, he's his least favorite son. Ouch. Little rough situation. We're led by the market liberals, the interpartisan political circle. That actually has a description. That's nice. Formed in 1915, now the moderate National Democratic and Liberal parties, the MKP, decided to collaborate with the Central Powers. It is a coalition of the Democratic National Party, the Party of Real Politics, the Polish Progressive Party, the Party of Polish Statehood, and a number of other organizations. The party acts as a representative of the middle ground in Polish politics. It would be considered socially conservative, economically liberal, and constitutionalist. It is supported by the middle class and economic sectors in particular. Well, there we go. My obligatory note at the start of all these series, which I like to give out. I don't speak Polish or German. I barely speak English sometimes, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time if I end up butchering any of these pronunciations. I apologize. We start off with this guy, Anton Poniatowski. Interesting. Let's check out our national spirits. I'll read his little thing in a second. You have moderate German control. Its stability, bonus of construction speed in military factories, but was our civilian industry. German companies managed to exploit a moderate portion of the Polish economy. Same for the Austrians over here. Next, we have those left behind. Polish society struggles with many problems: poverty, wealth, inequality, illiteracy, but its biggest problem is the very land it sits on. Poland's land ownership is vastly uneven. A number of very large estates have survived Russian domination and control the agricultural market, while tens, perhaps hundreds of thousands of small family farms remain impoverished. Limited land reforms have been tried, failing to produce results, largely due to government indecision and lack of funds. The population boom of last decade has only exacerbated the issues further, bringing them closer and closer to a breaking point. Not the best. Following up, polarized society, which gives us syndicalist and national populist support every day. Polish society is currently starkly divided. The last 2 decades have created bitter rifts between supporters and opponents of the king, as well as a larger debate about Germany's true place in Poland. On the fringes of politics, socialists and nationalists fiercely oppose each other despite the ever-present threat of German domination. This is reflected everywhere. Entrepreneurs and landowners covertly lend their support to pro- or anti-German societies, while unions everywhere stoke pro-socialist tensions, while strikes regularly forming and being disbanded by military police. And finally, we have the professional army. Poland's armies, based on the Polish legions and the Polish auxiliary force that were formed under the Austro-German command during the war. Unruly German officers are commonly dispatched to Poland, where the force is used as testing grounds for equipment, and the German high command is uncertain or even disdainful of. For this reason, and despite the country's many troubles, Poland retains an advanced military edge, making its forces' capabilities outsize their rather modest means. Well, there we go. Our army is okay, at least. I'll take that. I will take that. Looks like I have descriptions on all these parties, which I won't bother with quite right now. I will check out this guy, Antoni Poniatowski. Antoni Poniatowski has become something of the king's trusted man. Initially a member of the National Democrats and later the Christian Democrats, Poniatowski was among the Polish intellectuals during the Great War who turned towards building the Kingdom of Poland, rather than continue Roman Dmowski's hopeless war. Poniatowski became one of the leading figures of the interpartisan political circle, formed out of conservatives and moderate liberals who supported the regency. Poniatowski has served multiple times as a prime minister. During this time, Poniatowski has sought to walk the narrow middle path, cooperating both with moderate liberals and Christian Democrats. Poniatowski has been largely untainted by political scandals and is commonly a patron for Polish composers. At later stages of his political career, his retirement has already been planned, but the immensely close 1934 election cannot allow anyone else to form a cabinet. Well, we'll give this guy a break sooner or later. What form that break is going to take, he might not like. Granted, I don't know what that's going to take anyway. So, yeah. Go ahead, check out some of the stuff over here. First, we have the stability of the kingdom. Despite the appearance of stability, Poland is a restless nation. Many groups resent August IV and his government, and Polish politics are hotly contested by 4 distinct movements, each with their own vision for the country. The Republicans, the most moderate anti-monarchists, seek the establishment of a democratic republic free of German dominance. They can be appeased through the parliamentarism and the enactment of liberal policies, while authoritarianism will radicalize them further. Politically, they are aligned with the PSL and PPS, making up the Centralov bloc. The socialists represent the radical revolutionaries who seek to go further and overthrow the entire bourgeois system. They can be appeased by pro-worker legislation fighting foreign economic control, and will be angered by the inverse. Politically, they're aligned with the PPS left and other far-left organizations. Then we have the nationalists, represent a myriad who represent a myriad nationalist groups under the broad banner of Roman Domovsky's spiritual leadership. While they have no real love for the monarchy, they can work with it as long as their Christian nationalist policies are implemented and left are opposed. They are angered by liberal and leftist policies, but also by excessive authoritarianism if it takes power away from Poles themselves. Politically, they are associated with the Chizivzham and the Endesia. So the monarchy has 45% popularity, socialists have 10% support right now, Republicans have 30% support, nationalists have 15% support. But nationalists are supporting the king's government with a slim majority. Good to know. We could rally the monarchists, and that gives us some extra boost to those, but I don't think we need to worry about that too much. Poland is a large consumer market with plentiful labor. This makes the country desirable for the German and Austro-Czech businesses. Free trade arrangements with them have brought Poland prosperity, but also rising inequality and reduced control over their economy. In addition to direct effects, having control of less than 50% of its economy will have consequences for Poland, should they rise up against Germany. So, I think it's going to be a good idea to get extra economic influence no matter which path we go. So I don't think I want to quite touch these. Although if I need more political power, I might have to go ahead and do that. I could join the Kaiser Wilhelm Society. I think I will do that. I don't see any reason not to do that right now. We're going to have something about an emergency session soon enough. I'm guessing that's going to have to do with, what is it? Black Friday, if I had to guess. But yeah. Looks like we got a pretty solid economic branch. Decent, interesting choices, potentially. Go ahead and do the General Inspectorate. Unfortunately, the Polish armed forces have been allowed to languish in a state of stagnation for far too long. As tensions increase across the continent, the will is finally present to fundamentally remake our armed forces. First step of this will be the creation of a separate body which will oversee its modernization, hopefully allowing a form of impartiality to prevent any new funding simply increasing officer salaries. There we go. We got 12 divisions. We'll get a field marshal. Get Josef Dvor Musnitsky. That's probably not how you pronounce it. And, ooh, we have Heinz Guderian. That's actually interesting. That's funny to see. Go Adam Koch, I guess. And then we'll take our tanks and we'll put them with Guderian. If I can find Guderian, there he is. Old Hans. Get some free civilian factories as well. We'll use those to build more civilian factories. So I'll do one in Chelm, one in Kalisz. And then probably do the typical tech start. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Go and do construction. There we go. Very nice. Do we start off with any claims on anything? It doesn't look like it. Probably have some cores over here if I had to guess. Yeah, we have a core over this part of Lithuania. That's really about it. Everything else we don't have claims on. But I'm guessing we'll be able to get some more eventually. Using fighter and tactical bombers. Medium airframe. I don't know what any of this means. Oh god. I'm gonna guess these are the fighters. Yep, those are the fighters. There we go. I forgot. There's an air rework in the latest DLC. I only play the DLC, so I don't experience any of the new changes or features unless they're added to the DLC. So I'm not used to that. But we'll figure something out. Two decades ago, thousands of Poles fought and died for the Central Powers. The stormy cooperation of two of the three former partitioning powers led to the creation of the Kingdom of Poland, a nation which was a compromise from the beginning, carved out of former Russian territory. They hoped unification of Austrian Poland was denied. The hope unification of Austrian Poland was denied early on, as Germany sought to wrest Poland from the Austrians and ensure free reign over the so-called Grenzenmark. The Germans even annexed the so-called frontier strip with the aim for further colonization, but it was returned after the fall of the Ludendorff dictatorship, leaving Poles forever doubtful of German intentions. Out of the original German ambitions, merely a few things remain: King August IV's shaky rule and the professional Prussian-drilled Polish Wehrmacht. Against all odds, the kingdom has survived and managed to find relative prosperity. Formerly the most industrialized region of the Russian Empire, Poland has greatly benefited from its membership in Mittel Europa and economic cooperation with its neighbors, as both German and Austro-Hungarian investments have brought work and growth to Polish cities. King August IV's moderately liberal policies and willingness to honor the Polish constitution have won him some support over the years, but under the surface, grave issues are deepening. Poland, like most of Eastern Europe, is still a very agrarian nation, the divide between the growing cities and the countryside, which is largely owned by German and Polish nobility, has only grown during the years, forming a mass of landless, unemployed poor that are yearning for change. These social issues feed into the political radicalization taking place on both sides of the political spectrum. Traditionally strong Polish left is well organized and has allied itself with the liberal agrarian parties, calling for democratization, land reform, and even for a republic. Socialist organizations continually clash with far-right groups who draw their support from anti-German and anti-Semitic sentiments. All three anti-monarchist factions agree only on one thing: the destruction of a kingdom and the removal of its Hohenzollern monarch. Even that means that much blood has to be shed. Tell us more about these German and Austrian interests. Poland is much less under German influence than may seem at first glance, even though the king is Wilhelm II's son. There is little love shared between them. August IV, a lover of arts and culture, has left much of the ruling to his government and his Kaiserreich, composed of German, Austrian, and Polish men of great importance, such as industrial magnates and military personnel. It is this council where, in seeking the king's favor, a game of political intrigue is played. Most influential voices for now belong to Wolfgang von Kries, a military man of great experience, and often seen insurer of German military interest in Poland. Von Kries heads the German military mission to Poland, tasked with the oversight and training of the Polish army. It's become very much a project of Heinz Guderian, who has been slowly moldering the Polish army into his vision of a modernized, mechanized elite force. Germany also owns the KKWP, the state railway company, securing its connection to the Ustaten further in the east. The Poles have constantly relied on Austrian support in keeping the Germans at arm's length. The Danubian state have had a visible influence in Polish public life, with the Szlachta's connections to Austrian aristocracy, Czech investments in Polish industry, the pro-Austrian rhetoric of many of the liberal politicians. It is no secret that Austria actively seeks to strengthen its position in Poland, and many Poles believe it will finally rid them of an overbearing Germany. Berlin, however, remains wary, as Poland's strategic location between them and the east is a matter of national security. And the anti-monarchist factions? The so-called Polish Republican movement is composed from left and central liberal radicals, generally aligned to the opposition Centralu bloc, formerly known as the People's Union for Defense of Law and Freedom. While the central parties, the PSL and PPS, officially recognized the monarchy and even formed the government in the past, it's no secret that many among the ranks would rather see the German king deposed and a new progressive republic declared. They are the largest and the most influential anti-monarchist bloc, enjoying greater support in both Poland proper and across the Galician border, where their popularity is even higher with Galician Poles, who see the Republican cause as a path towards reunification of the Polish people. Fortunately for us, the Republican movement is the least militant of our internal divisions, and their supporters believe in a more passive resistance and peaceful protesting. They are also willing to work within the system to some degree, as long as the king continues his path of constitutionalism and democracy. However, should we use harsh measures against them, it's more than probable that many of their supporters would radicalize further and turn towards more extreme ideas. Well, they seem harmless enough. What about the other two? The Revolutionary Committee. Polish Socialist Party was a vanguard of a struggle of Polish liberation in 1905 and later during the Weltkrieg, using many of Pilsudski's colleagues under their revolutionary paramilitary organizations. Even though the party still hosts a radical revolutionary wing, its leadership has walked the moderate path and wields considerable influence in the Sem. However, within its unofficial sphere, many syndicalist trade unions and left-wing paramilitaries thrive. The revolutionary movement is no doubt directed mainly from Paris, where many of the Polish syndicalists and anarchists have escaped under the wing of a so-called Revolutionary Committee of Kazimierz Zakrewski. It is with communist support that their tentacles corrupt Poland and guide its proletariat towards a more destructive path. There's little we can do to save the souls of true believers, but the path of economic and social reform should make their agitation ring hollow to the Polish working class. Where there's a far life, I'm sure there's also the Polish National Committee. Formed by the Entente as their puppet government for Poland during the Weltkrieg, has not given us peace even after all these years. Their leader, Roman Dmowski, is himself in exile in Moscow, but still holds enormous sway over the Polish right. Even now, while as National Democrats are pushed towards the political fringe, it's no secret that many still feel loyalty to him. The far right can be broadly divided into two factions: conservative nationalists who are willing to begrudgingly work with us but will not hesitate to stab us in the back, meant complete independence for Poland, and the radical nationalists such as the ONR. These ultranationalists are responsible for dozens of attacks against our government and their political enemies, taking their tactics from the eastern savages like Kodrianu and Savinkov. They are vehemently anti-German, anti-Semitic, anti-establishment, and beyond redemption. However, the more moderate nationalists can be satiated, as long as our policies prove that we are not sacrificing Poland's Catholic, conservative nature to the whims of the socialists and the liberals. While the Russian bootleggers can stay in Moscow. Hopefully Moscow doesn't come to us. That's my concern. Well, in true Mr. Dogboat 333 fashion, we haven't even made it past the first week, much less the first day for the first episode. But I think this is a good place to start and a good place to stop. I'm not even sure what path I want to take in Poland, so I'm going to have to do a little research. And I'm going to have to leave my house soon anyway, so this is probably going up on a Friday. Hopefully I have time over the weekend or on that Friday to record some more content. So thanks as always for watching, my friends. If you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content in the future, hit the sub button for uploads weekdays as well as occasionally Saturdays. If you have any comments, feedback, concerns, even suggestions or ideas of fun paths to take, because I'm only recording one part as of now, so if you have any ideas, I'll take them. Leave a comment section below. I read all comments again. Appreciate any feedback you might have for me. If you have any comments, I already said that. If you want to check out my various links down in the description box, we'll go ahead and do that. I have a Patreon, a second channel, a Twitch, and a Discord. All those are down in the description box below. And yeah, thanks always for watching, my friends. My name is Mr. Dogboat 333. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.